Hiya Duck, welcome to a Watch Me Work video, and oh my god, this is a very sought after video. People have asked me for this video because we need to see these nails. So we're going to sculpt out long stiletto nails. We're going to use sculpting forms. I have already applied a little bit of strip tease at the back of the nail, sort of in that middle section, then black acrylic at the tip. This is all going to add a little bit of depth towards the tip. Then we're going to apply strip tease to the cuticle area. Then clear acrylic. There's a lot of layering going on to create the design. And oh my God, we're nowhere near finished. There's so much depth to this nail that there's a lot going on. This is structure, purely structure, what we're creating. Yes, we've got a bit of black acrylic, and to be honest, it doesn't matter if it's super blended. We just want a bit of black acrylic at the tip. So you'll notice I don't like perfectly ombre it out, because we don't actually need to perfectly ombre it out because of how the layering of this design is done. What I like to do as well, when I know a product is set, so we're going to pinch this nail now, but when I know that this is actually set, I'll take the form off because I want the client to feel comfortable. So when I know that that's set, get the form straight off. There's no harm in keeping them on, but I just like to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. Because I want them to be happy. Unless your name's Faye and you just want to do a wedding. Because she's a nightmare. But this client was not a nightmare. She was well up for anything, and I was like, right, so I've got this idea. And
right, it was your idea, because I was going to ask that. I was going to say, is this a strange person who's came in, or is this did you have a dream in the middle of the night?
Oh, I had a crazy dream, and the dream was this nail. And I wanted to do it, and you've got to have a willing victim. This client was my willing victim, and I really appreciate it. I am here for this. I really am. I mean, I'm so glad that she let me do it. And do you know what? As we were even doing the nails evolved. So the original idea wasn't quite what we actually ended up doing. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the video. But sometimes that does happen. You'll have a design, you'll sketch it all out, and you're like, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then another idea pops into your head. And it popped into my head. And that's why they went a little bit crazy. So sometimes they evolve right in front of your eyes. I'm like, what do you think about this? And she was like, yeah, man, do it. I'm up for it. I love those clients. That'll just let me have a little go. And she absolutely loved him, and I absolutely love him, and you guys love him because there's been pictures of him on Instagram, and you've all loved him, and I'm so chuffed. So sometimes when you're doing nails, especially salon based, it can get a little bit boring. But when you get clients like this that will just let you put your vision on their nails, it's an absolute joy, and they are the best parts of being a nail tech. Sorry, Oscar's now climbing out of the box. Oscar's been in a box. He's just been chilling in a box, and now he's coming out. The cats are fully getting involved in this video. Do apologise. So we're going to file these now. Side walls, get the side walls nice and perfect. Once your side walls are nice and you're happy it's coming straight out of that nail fold, then you want to do the cuticle area. Get that all nice. Oscar, you're being noisy, Oscar. How are you? What do you want? No. So side walls, cuticle area, and then we will make sure that the top surface is all nice and smooth, a nice stiletto. The structure is just as important as the nail art, because we don't want to be polishing no turd, do we? We want the nails to last. So the structure is just as important as the nail art. Okay, girls.
So polishing a turd is a term in the nail industry as well, then?
Definitely. Because imagine if your structure's all off and it's slumpy bumpy and you've not got the right strength there, and then you put your wonderful nail art on it, then it's not going to work. Boys, stop fighting. Sorry, the cats are fighting. Out! Are you going to go out? So, once I've done the side walls, I do like to go over with the electric file just to remove any bulk. And then what I can do is I can finish my hand filing. Excuse my awful finger, my poorly finger that was trapped in the car door. Not that I haven't told you all about it. If this is the first time you're hearing about my finger that I trapped in the car door, you have definitely not watched enough videos. Because it's so much better now. It's actually growing and it's getting better. It's taking a while, but it is getting better. But I've not got a nail on it because, yeah, it's a little bit fudged. Now for the exciting part. We're going to take acrygel and we're going to manipulate the acrygel. This is clear acrygel. It's called Clear as Day. We slap it on, but then we manipulate it into position. I'm using the Meakin scrape brush. So this is a gel brush. It's dampened with cleanup solution, which allows me not to stick to it. So the brush is not going to stick to it, but you can like carve in these swirls and crazy shapes. And I absolutely love playing with this product because you can just create these crazy swirly textured shapes, and then it's not going to move anywhere until, well, it's not going to move anywhere until you actually touch it with the brush. So because of that, like, yeah, you could have a go at doing this with acrylic, but you'd have to it'd be a lot more difficult. And who wants it to be difficult? We want it to be easy. So using the acrygel and manipulating that around to create these swirly textured shapes is so easy to do. We're just gliding through it with the Meakin scrape brush. It's damp, like I said, with cleanup solution. It's not going to move anywhere. And then you're going to cure it in the lamp, and it's like done. You just couldn't do that with any other product. You know, if you used acrylic, you're going to struggle. I absolutely love using acrygel for stuff like this. I love textured nails. You can probably hear the excitement in my voice. I love textured nails because I love rubbing my finger down that texture. It's like, it's so satisfying. It's like ASMR, but for people with ADHD. I know it's not a noise, but the feeling of sensation of rubbing your finger over a textured nail like this is so satisfying. So we're going to do that on all of the nails. They're all having texture. We're not going to leave we're not going to leave one out or two out. They're all going to have this beautiful texture all over them.
This seems like it was, obviously it's a very intricate set. There's a lot of stuff going on it. Was it a long session?
Oh, it's a bespoke set. So if you book in with me, you book an appointment with me, and if you want to do that, how you need to do it is there is a link in my bio on Instagram. That's the easiest way to do it, to be honest. You can send messages and we can send you the link, but that's the easiest way. But there are different appointments. So this is a bespoke appointment. So it's a minimum 4-hour appointment. And I say minimum, so that it could go for longer. Obviously, the longer it takes, there'll be additional costs for if it takes like 6 hours, 7 hours, things like that. But it's a minimum 4-hour appointment. And that allows me to be creative, and it allows me to perfect the nails. And Adam, it's not just about nails, it's the experience, because they come to the studio, don't they, Adam?
Yeah.
They come to the YouTube studio.
Watch Netflix with you.
Yeah, watch Netflix with me. We can eat, we can drink, we can chat shit. We have such a ball. I actually love doing bespoke appointments because I actually really spend quality time with my clients. I love it. So make sure you cure as you go, and then we're going to use the colour, the Vale. Now this is a top coat, so it's a transparent black top coat, and what you'll notice is when you put this over the top of the texture, it sits in the recesses, so it exaggerates the texture visually, and I love it. So the Vale is what's going on now. It's also a top coat. This is very important. If we did this with gel polish, it would not look the same. We want a little bit of transparency because we want it to sit in the recesses and we want the texture to be slightly more transparent. If you did it with black, you'd just cover the whole thing with black and it just wouldn't have the effect that I want. So can you see now why we put the black acrylic at the tip? Because at that part, I wanted it to be opaque. So it's all about planning out the design for the final look. Does that make sense, Adam? He's nodding.
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, absolutely it does.
Because I wanted the depth at the tip. And when I say depth, I want the depth of colour to be at the tip. So they really do stand out. Pop it on. And then I blend out so it kind of ombres. And I'm just using a gel brush to blend that out. So just use the Meakin scrape brush to blend it out. And then don't you know, a fluff just loves to land on a nail. Then glossy top coat. Because we've got a glossy top coat, yes, it's got a colour in it at the tip, but now we want to add glossy top coat to the top of the nails and we're going to blend that down. There's a reason we are putting glossy on, because we are going to apply liquid chrome. Liquid chrome will only stick to glossy top coat with no sticky layer. So this is the Kirsty Meakin glossy top coat, and obviously we're just going to blend that down into the veil. Then I'm showing my client the different colours and I'm like, which one do you want? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, I think we need to go for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it in. I apply it on with the brush and then I use the rubber dubbers, which are our sponge applicators, so we burnish it in. So as I'm burnishing, I'm making sure I'm getting into all those nooks and crannies, so all those recesses. I need to rub that product into the recesses, because if you just kind of like rub it over, then you're just not going to get it into those recesses. What I like to do is once I've brushed it onto the nail, I brush the remainder that's on the brush onto the rubber dubby. So the rubber dubby has got some product on as well. And then I burnish it all in, and this is where the high shine magic happens. Make sure you get into all those recesses, because even if you rub it with your finger, you're not going to get into those recesses. You need the rubber dubbers to kind of get into there. Then we are going to glossy top coat. Glossy top coat is going to seal in the design. It's going to seal the chrome in. Make sure you cap the edge. It's really important to make sure you cap those edges. And at this point, the original design was I was going to put crystals and pearls into the little swirly bits, into those recesses. Crystals and pearls, that was designed. Crystals and pearls. The pearls evolved into something else. I just thought...
I've never seen the photo just going, what is she done?
Yeah, I was like, so instead of doing pearls, can we do eyeballs? And she was like, eyeballs? I was like, yeah, eyeballs. And she was like, go on, do it. Let's do it. So I'm going to make some eyeballs. So I'm using sculpting foam. I'm using white lightning, which is our white acrylic. And I'm doing 3 at a time because I can make sure that they are starting to set up before I create the shape. So we're starting to create the shape. And I'm still using the Alicia brush, and then I'm going to roll this into a ball. So it's got to be set up a certain amount, else it'll just completely stick to your gloves. You've got to make sure that you wear gloves when you do this. It's really important. Do not be getting uncured product on your hands, because you will be prone to developing an allergy, and we don't want that.
I saw an ad for another nail company the other day, right, on Facebook or something, and it was showing off a kind of gel polish, and it had it on the skin, like as if they dipped their fingers into the skin, into gel polish, and I was like,
really?
Yeah,
that is a no, girls.
It was just like, it was as if they'd like paint, like so it was dripping off them, the fingers, not just the nails.
Oh, that's not good.
I know.
So we're going to put these little eyeball shapes that we've created with the acrylic on with some gem gel. So it's like a medium viscosity gel. Pop that on, and then you're going to cure them into place. And I'm using the flash. I was going to say flash curer. It's not a flash curer. What is wrong with me? It's the mini lamp. It's the flash mini lamp. So you can flash cure that, and then you can pop it into the lamp and give it a full cure. And I'm just going over again with top coat because I want to make sure it's nice and smooth when I apply the product. I'm going to make some more eyeballs. And it was like, I want 2 or 3 eyeballs on the nails, sometimes 1. It depends how big the nail is. I think the most I went was like 3, possibly. I'm trying to remember back. Or maybe 2. Then we're going to add some eye colours. So we're going to do the iris. I'm going to use the colour Pony and the colour Alicia, which I thought were perfect colours for eyes. Because, you know, somebody's got bright green eyes like this. Do you know why I chose this green? Because it's the massive amount of contrast that we have here. We've got brightness and it like pops. So it's like a monster eye and then like a normal coloured eye.
They were quite funny when I first saw them. I was like, what is she doing?
A selection of eyeballs here. From all walks of life. We're inclusive. And I'm just swirling that around with the design needle end of the hammy picker upper. Then we're going to use Void, which is the blackest black you ever did see, and we're going to create the pupils for the eyes. Like, I know that these would look good with pearls, but I just really wanted to do eyeballs because it's a bit weird. And yeah, I like things that are a little bit weird. Wherever I am, the cats go. I've got Mr. Buttons here. Kit Kat now. Yeah, Kit Kat. Then we're going to top coat. And at this point, I was thinking, I need to add some veins. I was like, they need more veiny eyes. You don't look gruesome enough. So I added some like red coloured veins using
these were done like way back, so they were. It was at Halloween, I'm guessing.
It was actually before Halloween. So yeah, I've used the colour Vamp to create those sort of like blood-like vessels and veins, and they look more eyeball-like.
I wonder how long they remain like that.
Oh, she had them on for ages.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you could just sort of file it back down to...
Yeah, you can file it back down to the stiletto. So a lot of people that come to me are nail techs. Some of them are nail techs, but there's a lot. I'd say like 70% of the people that come to me are nail techs who don't like doing their own nails. They're either coming because it's a birthday, it's a special treat for them, or they are actually, you know, coming because they can't be bothered doing their own nails. But there they are. We added a bit of bling, of course. We needed bling, and I'm sorry, I love them. They're weird, I know. They're a bit unusual, but I absolutely love them. So everything I've used today will be listed below. Don't forget, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all that shebang. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Ta-da!